What's up, guys? Welcome back. Cars with Abe here. Today we are back at it working on the Ford Falcon. What we are going to do today is fix this carburetor. I don't know, in the previous video of this Ford Falcon build, I briefly showed you guys that there was a little leak, and I'm pointing to it right now. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there is a leak way underneath there. I'd imagine that's most of the problem, but then again, as you guys suggested too, I completely 100% agree that there's a lot of moving parts inside the carburetor that either should be rebuilt or replaced. So needless to say, we do have a brand new carburetor. It's not a Holley 4-barrel or Edelbrock or anything like that. We actually went with a original style 2-barrel carburetor because, well, we don't want to change up too much right now. I don't know what the future holds as far as if we're ever going to swap the engine, whatever, but I can assure you this, that I do want to put some cams in it, just kind of spruce up the engine a little bit, maybe some headers and stuff like that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's unbox this carburetor. All right, so here's the box. It's a remanufactured carburetor, of course. There's the part number in case you guys want to research that. Now, we've had this carburetor for a while. I'll tell you one thing, be 100% transparent here. So here it is. We have the 2-barrel carburetor, and from what it looks like, you always kind of want to look around it and see if it kind of matches up what you have. Definitely looks like it. You even have this right here. All right, I think we have a winner. Anyways, so let's go ahead and unwrap this and get started. All looks good so far. I mean, of course, we have to put it on the vehicle in order to find out, but let's go ahead and start taking off all the lines. All right, so we have this line off, which appears to be a vacuum line. That end right here, it seems like it broke off of the exhaust manifold. So we might have had a vacuum leak all this time, not even know it. However, we're gonna just keep on moving along. All right, a quick look around. We're gonna have to take this off here and transfer it to the new carburetor. No big deal, can sure everything else is disconnected, but other than that, I think we just have the 4 famous bolts to take off. All right, it's coming off. Look at that, easy. Oh, she dirty. Man, that was easy, but check that out. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Looks like there's a really bad fuel leak now that you guys can see underneath it. So now that it's off, we're just gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Be careful not to get anything in the intake. Out with the old and with the new. We have the gasket here, so we'll go ahead and put this on and just repeat the process in reverse. I'm actually kind of surprised as to how smoothly this is going. So for some of you that are just now following my channel or new to the channel, as I mentioned before, a lot of these things I have never done before. I typically work on newer vehicles and not old school vehicles like this Ford Falcon. So I am learning a lot, and I honestly did not know that replacing a carburetor is really easy peasy. Enough talking, let's get to it again. So one thing that I've noticed here, this retainer is not on the new carburetor, and we also have to transfer some additional parts from this carburetor. So let's go ahead, bring this back over here. Yes, we do need to transfer this over, as well as this. So before we transfer this bracket over, we did decide to clean it up just a little bit, because, you know, it always looks kind of terrible when you put an old raggedy part on a new part. So we're just gonna go ahead and use some brake clean, maybe a little wire brush, clean this up a little bit. Snug that up. tinkering around with these two for a little bit, I have noticed some differences. So first and foremost, we had to transfer this like diaphragm, I'm guessing, right over here and adjust it a little bit different. As you can see, there's some threads right there, but on the old one, this bracket and the threads, it was all the way down. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Also, this diaphragm, the rod right here does seem to be just a little sticky, so we might want to keep that in mind and order a new one here soon, and then we'll just go ahead and replace it. Anyways, the other thing, I don't know if you guys already noticed this, but this bracket right here for the throttle, this has a little rod coming out on the end right here, and this one is all the same really, except it doesn't have that little rod. So I hope that doesn't give us any problems. When you walk over here to the car, you look at everything on this side, and ultimately this is the only thing for the accelerator pedal, the only thing that you have here on this side. So no other rod that connects to that. Because this is a little bit different from the old one compared to the new one here, I'm hoping that the adjustment or the rod or any variance does not give us any issues because of the fact that this might not extend where it needs to be for that rod and so on and so forth. But needless to say, we're about to find out. So let's go ahead, transfer this right on over so we don't have to mess with it in the vehicle, and just slap this new carburetor in. All right, in with the new. Should be pretty straightforward here. Easy peasy. Look at that. Now it's looking brand new. Again, I've said this in my previous videos a couple of times, I believe, but I love how when you're dealing with an old school car that you have a bunch of grime, which we're gonna clean these up very soon. But when you have a bunch of grimy parts, old rusted out parts, and then you start to piece together like the master cylinder poking away over there, the new carburetor, you got your coil here, new battery, the cables, everything like that. I like how clean it starts to turn out to be. We do need to get one of these solenoids here for sure, because that's, I mean, it's working, obviously, the car starts and everything, but that looks disgusting. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and snug up this carburetor and crank her up and see what kind of adjustments we need to make. We have all the mounting bolts in. Don't worry, I'm gonna take off this sticker just to make sure that it looks nice and clean. Afterwards, we already have this snug for the air cleaner there. All right, so peeling the sticker off, that's when you know it's official. Anyways, so we are kind of about to crank it, I guess. This line right here, some of you may know what that line is exactly, so please tell me in the comments below, because I thought that it had broken off, but you can't see it with this GoPro, but way down inside there, you can see that there's like a little hole that it rests in. I tried to look at the bottom of it where it actually goes into that manifold area, and it was a smooth cut. It didn't seem like it was rigid really. So I hope that it's not gonna cause any vacuum leak. I'm gonna do some research on that a little bit later so we can make sure that there's no vacuum leak there, because of course, if you can see, it does tie in to this right here. So also, side note, you guys have said that like if this Ford is not a Sprint or a Futura Sprint, the valve covers will be a certain color as well. So keep in mind that this is the original engine inside this car. This right here, if you can tell, it's black. So whatever that means, I think someone in the comments last time had said that if the valve covers are black, it's a Sprint. But I don't know if it's like a Futura Sprint. So anyways, let's go ahead. Let's see what it does when it cranks. Man, that crank up is smooth. It's not running rough really much. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Now, I don't know if you guys heard before, but it was running pretty rough the longer it sat. So now it's back up smoothing. I wasn't sure if it might have been the condenser or something that has faulted out. Oh man, listen to that. And honestly, we might have to adjust it a little bit, but it's running pretty smooth right now, and we just might have to roll this out on the street a little bit. Let's hear this. Oh, she sound good. All right, guys, so we're gonna be moving some cars here, but I just want to tell you guys one thing. I am super stoked that now it's actually running on its own and we're able to drive it on its own, not push it. The brakes are working, thank God. That was a process. All right, so this is how you can tell that my dad is super excited, because check this out. He didn't even wait for me to park the car and then he brought it out. I just want to note here, I bet it's been longer than 15 years since someone sat in this passenger seat, because dang, it's dirty. How's it feel?
That's okay so far.
Oh, she run like butter, guys. That's smooth. This is really the first drive ever in a long time, 15 years, guys. Oh, we just cruising now. Look at this. Woo, she's smooth as butter. I know I keep saying that, but she really is. Looks good. That misfire is a cam, guys. No. All right, guys, you saw it for the first time in 15 years. I'm super stoked that the Ford is back up and running. Obviously, it's not running the way we exactly want it to, so there's some minor adjustments. We need to check some timing. It's super exciting to finally feel the rumble of the Ford Falcon after so many years. But anyways, this effectively ends today's video. If you liked it, please smash that like button and don't forget to consider subscribing. It will really help me out. You guys have an awesome day. Peace.